I tried to get excited about watching this movie. I did everything I could. Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Kuba Yatkovich, and this is my review of Girls vs. Gangsters. Shout out to Kuba, because he sent me this fake Viagra pill from Taiwan. I don't know if the pill is from Taiwan, that's just where he lives. I've been waiting a long time to use it, but that's not his or my fault. See, I knew before he sent it that I wanted to save it for this movie. What neither of us knew was that this movie was gonna take so fucking long to come out. We did know that it wouldn't be worth the wait or the delays, and it's not. I'm gonna do this review, mostly, as a series of one-liners that I could have used to open the review, like, I just did. Because trust me, there's a million of them to be made, and this turd of a movie isn't really worth much more effort than that. So here we go. This review was filmed on location in the small Vietnamese hamlet of Chu Mai Bung. What do you get when you're too lazy to write your own movie and just remake The Hangover with bad copies of characters from Tiny Times? Barbara Wong's new film, The Vag-Over. The first trailer for this movie appeared in December 2016. One of its release dates was the day before my birthday. Fuck you too. They took so long to make Girls vs. Gangsters that all 4 women ended up sinking their menstrual cycles. Girls vs. Gangsters, finally, opened on International Women's Day, which is kind of like releasing a 4K version of Triumph of the Will on January 27th. That comparison is unfair. Leni Riefenstahl was a talented director, and her films have cinematic merit. Nothing says empowered women quite as much as crying and screaming like a spoiled toddler. The best thing I can say about Girls vs. Gangsters is that it makes Wilson Chin look like Akira Kurosawa. I have to be honest, there's no way that you can have a bad God of Gamblers homage, unless you're Barbara Wong. I think I speak for all of us when I say that it's probably for the best that the bukkake scene ended up on the cutting room floor. Don't worry, it's not racist when Chinese people do it. Fiona Sit eats a scorpion in Girls vs. Gangsters. The audience eats shit. I wonder if Anne Hoy ever took a nap selfie. Probably not. The only English promotional articles I could find for this film were 2 pieces in the Global Times. Stamp of quality. I drank a lot of soda while I watched this movie so that I'd have to go to the bathroom and I could get a break from the suck. I should have drank more soda. Pro tip, if you're overdubbing someone into English, you might not want to leave their closed mouth in the frame. I asked a bunch of women to watch this movie with me, just so that I could get a more balanced perspective. The ones who didn't laugh at me when I mentioned what movie it was just told me to fuck off. I should have listened. Why keep directing a movie in Vietnam when you can take the weekend off to fly back to Hong Kong and shove birthday cake in your pie hole? The letters on this t-shirt stand for Direct Nothing Barbara. Had you for a second, didn't I? There hasn't been such a huge Chinese failure in Vietnam since 1979. Drinking while base jumping. Way to be a role model. If you're gonna listen to a phone message that your friend just told you upsets her, you might want to move more than 6 fucking feet away. There's a reason nobody ever says Director of the Year and Barbara Wong in the same sentence, unless they're laughing. Because of all the things you can do with WeChat, proposing marriage is probably the best, or worst. Hey, no matter how much somebody might say I insult and or hate women, it's nothing compared to what this movie does to them. Girls vs. Gangsters empowers women with female dialogue like, if you can't keep the secret, you'll be raped 100 times. What if you directed the secret? Hey, fair is fair. Nothing says empowering women like boob castles. Wait, if they woke up naked, where were their phones? What if my husband sees this tattoo on the back of my neck? Well, honey, it means that he's hitting it from the back and just might be distracted. Gay jokes are funny. Not because the jokes are funny, because gay is funny. I wish both of Barbara Wong's parents were gay. Think it through. You know you've run out of money for your VFX when your slow motion footage stutters. One woman in this movie is empowered by getting a knife buried to the hilt in her fake breast. The one cameo I wish she did. The eyes go in the red safe and the fingers go in the yellow safe. Why don't you just call them the eye safe and the finger safe, you fucking idiots? Girls vs. Gangsters empowers women with the narrative innovation of a cat fight. I have a better idea.
Because I'll get you both in the ring, I'll give you both a fucking beat and you both can fuck each other.
Because nothing says incredibly valuable ruby like putting an LED into a fake jewel to make it shine. To how bling. I don't know how to say, bitch, did you puke in my bathtub in Vietnamese and Mandarin, but I'm willing to learn. If one of your plot points is a life or death shopping spree, you might be Barbara Wong. If Mike Tyson is the best thing about your movie, you might be Barbara Wong. If your characters can change into long sleeve dresses while they're handcuffed to each other, you might be Barbara Wong. If one of your characters is taking a shit with her Muay Thai shorts dress still on and pulled up all the way, you might be Barbara Wong. Why have only one bathroom gag, pun intended, when you can have 3? China market pandering for the win. What do Cambodian, Thai, and Vietnamese people have in common? They're all not Chinese, which apparently makes them interchangeable. The funniest thing in this movie is how laughably bad the green screen shots are. Why is Mike Tyson half Korean in this movie? Because it's the only fucking way a Chinese girl would be allowed to like him. These Vietnamese people don't want real gold bars. They want fake pearl earrings. Oh, the Belt and Road will pave itself. I'm sure that sound in between every sentence I'm saying is kind of getting to you, because it's actually pretty annoying. Well, I'm just trying to convey what it felt like to give 2 hours of my life to this dog shit movie. Barbara Wong once said that her movies are realistic. Then why are these 3 dingleberries tossing around 30-pound bars of gold like they're made of plastic? One of Girls vs. Gangsters' cinema innovations is to shoot an entire fight scene between our 3 heroines and a dozen attackers so that they're never actually on screen together. I'm sincerely impressed. Girls vs. Gangsters is 2 to 3 times worse than I thought it would be. I knew it was gonna suck, but this is just... There is one honestly hilarious scene in the entire 2-hour movie. Unfortunately, it's the one we're supposed to take seriously. I'm not really completely sure, but I think the lyric, "When we have a forest of sisterhood to play in," might have something to do with grooming habits and sapphic love. I know that Barbara Wong doesn't have a gambling problem, because she doesn't seem to understand that if you want to intentionally lose at blackjack, nothing can stop you from losing. This movie fucking stinks. If either of my goddaughters turn out remotely like any of the women in this movie, I'll kill them both. This is an early contender for worst film of 2018. At least Barbara Wong movies are the easiest ones to review, because there's just so much to talk about, and none of it is good. If you want to watch this movie, go ahead, but if you do that, you should probably go see a doctor afterwards, because there's really something fucking wrong with you. Go watch it in a cinema, because I don't know why. Wait until you're on a plane, and the plane is on fire, and you're gonna die, so that way you won't ever have to admit that you watched it. Whatever. I suppose I should say don't steal this movie, but let's face it, nobody's gonna steal this movie because nobody wants to see it. And I know that because I was in a cinema this morning that holds 900 people, and there were 4 of us. I swear to God, I thought I was gonna have a stroke sitting in the cinema. If you're really in the mood to spend money and perhaps make me more miserable, do you know that via my Patreon page, you can actually pledge money and make me have to sit through this movie again when it comes out on DVD? Luckily for all of us, I guess, I'll live stream the whole miserable experience. But that's just one of the ways that you can spend money on Patreon and make me even more miserable than I am right now. If you enjoyed my review, please let me know. If you didn't, please let me know. If you know Barbara Wong, please let her know about the review. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.